Yo, what's going on, guys? Emperor Wave here, and today we're going to be covering the latest One Piece chapter, chapter 1012. It's been 2 weeks since the last chapter. It wasn't an Oda break, but it was a Golden Week break, and I'm pretty sure you guys know about those. So we really had time to think about everything that happened last chapter, and from what I saw, Big Mom was pretty much the centerpiece of everybody's discussion, as expected to be honest. But to be fair, I feel like this chapter cleaned up a portion of people's worries. Not to say that the worries have been completely eliminated, I just feel like we get a bit more insight into certain characters' thinking. Let's not waste no more time, and let's get right into what I'm talking about today. So we actually start this chapter off with a group of red scabbards in search of Momonosuke. We get a really interesting conversation between Kiku and Izo. When questioned about her arm from Izo, Kiku basically states in her own way that it's pretty minor for a samurai, and likens it to the feeling of when Izo suddenly left Wano Kuni, which leads to Izo apologizing for leaving her behind, which is really cool. I'm glad that Oda touched on it, especially knowing how close they were in the flashback as kids. I really enjoy character interactions like these between family members, probably because I'm really close with my own family. Kawamatsu ends up asking Izo what will come of Wano Kuni after they open the country up, but currently there is no real answer to that question. To be honest, they need to focus on their current goal, which is to survive through this war. Knowing that they're outnumbered, their plan of action is to split up and go help out in different areas of the battlefield. Kinemon plans on going after Momonosuke, which is to be expected. Kiku plans to finish off Kanjuro, which makes sense considering that she places the blame on herself for what happened to Ashura Doji. And as the rest of the Scabbards run into separate directions, Nekomamushi runs into Sicilian. This leads to Neko learning about Pedro's death, and him also finding out that his killer is actually nearby fighting Carrot and Wanda, aka Perospero. My future sight is literally off the charts. I would make the GOAT category so proud. Check this out to see what I mean. Also think that one of the Red Scabbards will take on Perospero, possibly Nekomamushi, and then act to be one of the ones who avenges Pedro. It would make sense considering that it seems each Scabbard are separating themselves from the group and getting their own individual times to shine, their own individual battles. I wonder if Perospero will actually die this arc. That would be low-key kinda crazy. I believe he's entangled with Marco right now, so that's another connection between Peros and Neko. When we cut back to Yamato, Momo, and Shinobu, Yamato poses the idea that they should separate due to them having a higher chance of being spotted. He created a fake-looking dummy of Momo to use as a decoy to carry around, but it honestly seems like he's just really itching to fight. Not to mention that that dummy looks nothing like Momo. Yamato is probably just like Kaido at heart, loves the thrill of battle. I find it really curious though that when Yamato asks Momo about Luffy's condition, he answers that he's doing fine, but the voices up there have dwindled down to just 2 people, in which Yamato immediately deduces that it's a 1v1 against Kaido, and decides to rush up there. Now, I'm still going to wait for the official translations, but based off of this translation, it seems that Momo is definitely using the voice of all things. This kind of puts the voice of all things into a weird extreme observation hockey category, which is something to think about considering that there are very few people capable of it, including the GOAT, Captain Luffy himself. I might make a video on this topic, so for now, I'ma just let it be. But besides that, it seems that Yamato plans to go back up Luffy, and we'll finally get the Kaido and Yamato interaction that we've been waiting for, or at least that I've been waiting for. Considering that Yamato did have some form of love for Kaido as a parent, as shown when he cried after finding out the cups were real explosives, I feel like they should have some sort of conclusion before Kaido is actually defeated, and before Yamato possibly joins the crew. But that's to be seen. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, once Yamato left, Momonosuke started looking through Oden's journal. I wonder what will come of Momo's thought process after reading and learning about his father's journey. I feel like this is one of the key moments that will help shape his development as the future leader of Wano. So it'll be interesting to find out what information he's actually taking in. Probably something that Luffy probably doesn't want to hear. So we actually cut back to Sanji, who's running along the second floor, and he's basically defeating the fodder and Kaido's crew, while at the same time looking for Momonosuke. This is the first time we've seen him in like 3 or 4 chapters. It's crazy because he's actually carrying a huge roundish cross on his back, and that cross just happens to be Zoro. Apparently, while I believe he was looking for Momo, they teleported right above him from the rooftop, and he pretty much had to catch both of them because of the state that they were in. Although Zeus did fly away after being questioned by Sanji. That's what led to Zeus running into Big Mom last chapter. When Law heard the havoc that Big Mom was causing, he decided to separate from Sanji and Zoro and went in her direction. And the reason why Zoro is shaped as a cross over Sanji's shoulder is because, according to Law, he literally has more than 20 broken bones in his body, possibly almost 30. That combined attack from Big Mom and Kaido really did a number on him, so Sanji basically wrapped him up in bandages surrounded by pieces of wood. And after Zoro relayed Luffy's message about him winning against Kaido, he's literally been sleeping while Sanji's been running through Kaido's men and complaining. Eventually, Sanji runs into Kawamatsu and Izo, who pretty much saves him the trouble of looking for Momo, seeing as how Kinemon's already on it, which leads to Zoro in a ridiculous way waking up, suggesting that they should go to the live floor and then falling back asleep. Really quick, I want to talk about Zoro's comment and his injuries. I've been seeing a lot of mixed emotions over whether or not Zoro will have another fight in Wano, or even whether or not he'll head back to the rooftop and return to Luffy's side. But now that he's pretty much confirmed that he's in full belief of Luffy's statement, I think that him returning to the roof is kinda out the window. That fight against Kaido is pretty much for Luffy and potentially Yamato, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be out the game for good. In my opinion, it's a bit too early for him to be out of commission in Wano, considering that some of the battles haven't even started yet. I feel like him resting up now is definitely leading to him springing back into action later. Maybe after he runs into Marco, who could possibly heal him, but who knows. And now the last place we cut to this chapter is Big Mom's area. And page 1 literally has his head stuck in the floor, which obviously sets Ulti off, which leads to Ulti hurting Tama, which obviously sets Big Mom off. Here's the interesting thing though, during this whole scenario, Nami and Usopp were being their normal weak trio selves. They tried to persuade each side to join against the other, which clearly wasn't going to work. But once Ulti hit Tama, Nami finally snapped and electrocutes her. It's well documented that Nami doesn't play about the safety of kids. So as a Nami fan, I really enjoyed this moment. It also pretty much sets in stone her Wano battle. The panel actually kind of reminds me of Luffy's Red Hawk against Hold'em for the very same reason, for Tama's sake. I was hoping that Tama would build a relationship with another Straw Hat other than Luffy, and there's no one else better for this role than Big Sis Nami. So I'm glad that Oda decided to do this. I'm also glad that Big Mom didn't just fall in line and suddenly start liking the Straw Hats just because of a mutual friendship with a kid. This should lead to Big Mom being separated by Usopp's kid and Nami somehow ending up with Zeus, which should help her in her battle against Ulti. This next chapter should be a real good one, and it's definitely giving me some video ideas. But for now, let's just leave this here. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click that notification bell to stay up to date with my latest content. This is Wave, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.